You have just stepped into the Midlife Revolution, your space to ignite possibility, redefine purpose, and embrace the power that comes with age. Co-hosted by yours truly, Coach Wayne.
And I'm Coach Stacy M. Lewis, and we're two seasoned coaches focused on the midlife community of color. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. In a world that sometimes forgets the power and the wisdom that comes with age, we're here to ignite a revolution and rewrite the narrative of this incredible journey.
So, whether you're navigating career shifts, rediscovering passions, or challenging the status quo, this is your space. So buckle up. Let's dive into the Midlife Revolution. Hey, good morning. Good morning. It is July 16th. We are so deep into half of the year. I mean, like, we're looking at the end of the year before you know it, before you quint, right?
Slow down. It doesn't have to be we're looking at the end of the year. We are in, let's be present, Coach Wayne. We are in the middle of the year.
Okay, I'm moving too fast, Stacy, and I'm going to slow up and slow down a little bit. So catch up now, everybody. We are July 16th. A lot is happening. In fact, my youngest son's birthday, Jared, is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Jared. I'll come.
Happy birthday, Jared.
Yeah, we'll be talking to you. And so much is happening. I may have, Jared is actually July 18th. Oh, well, forgive me, Jared. But hey, Stacy, I'm taking my memory tablets. I'm making sure that I stay up with the stuff. This is Midlife Revolution. So here is Coach Stacy on the other end, and I am Coach Wayne. And Stacy, well, you know what I do is I help men of color reimagine their purpose, redefine their identity, and sort of just restore their values so that their second half of life can be one without regrets. Stacy, welcome. It's great to have you. Talk to the people, Stacy.
What a great segue. So I will say to our listening and viewing audience, please forgive us. We're having a little bit of a technical issue where we can't see your comments, but we know that you are out there. We appreciate you being here, and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Revolution. I am Coach Stacy. I am a nonprofit executive. Hook a sister up. Give a sister a holla if you're looking for a good organization to support. I am also a health educator, and I'm here with Coach Wayne because I am a midlife women's coach. It is my joy and honor to really support midlife women just like me in moving forward into really this season with a spirit of thriving and a willingness to just live at our highest selves. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to talk about regret.
And Stacy, welcome to Florida, the Sunshine State. I understand you're up there in the middle of Florida.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And it's been a lovely stay here in Florida. For those of you that catch the show, you know this is not my normal background, but I'm headed home today. But Florida has been very good to me. So thank you, Wayne. Thank you for having me in your home state.
You're welcome, Stacy. And today, Stacy, we are talking about from regret to renewal. You know, Stacy, how many of us, a listening audience, this is a question for you all. And if you comment, we probably can't see it, but we'll get to it after the show. But feel free to share. How many of you have looked back at your life and you have said, I wish I had done something differently, or I regret that I did something the way I did? How many of you have done that?
That is an excellent question. And I think, good morning, Delane. It's such a pleasure to have you. Welcome to the Midlife Revolution. Um, I'm sure that we can all at least come up with one thing that we have a sense of regret about. And so let's just talk for a brief second about what we mean by regret, right? And so when you look up the definition, you see a sense of loss, a sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling of sorrow or remorse for fault, act, loss, or disappointment. And so I will say that it doesn't have to be very recent. I have a slight sense of regret that while I'm in the home state of my fellow coach and midlife revolution partner, Sir Wayne, that I did not have a chance to actually see him IRL, as they say in those streets, in real life. So that's a slight regret, but certainly we can talk at a deeper level about regrets. And good morning to Isaac. Welcome to the Midlife Revolution.
Brother Isaac is calling from Nigeria. And
Ah,
Delane is calling from Canada. Good
all
morning
right.
to you
Oh,
both.
look at us in our international audience. Huh.
Yeah. Stacy, and your boy was on and in the streets on Saturday because I took a 3.5, almost a 3.5 hour ride to Tampa, which is close to where you were. I had this get together with an organization that I'm a part of that I support very well, BEM, Black Executive Males. Shout out to Jewel Love and BEM. And we got some brothers together and we were about to change the narrative. So I was unable to connect with you. That was happening. And I lost my voice. So couldn't do too much talking. It's kind of, I'm finding it now, but no regrets, Stacy. You know, I look back and sometimes we have a life where we're shooting on each other. If I
Yeah.
woulda, coulda, shoulda, right?
Hmm.
So we're here to say, put away the shouldas and the wouldas and the couldas, and let us turn that around so that we can renew and move forward, leveraging those so-called missed opportunities or failures.
Yeah, I think, Wayne, it's so interesting because one thing, we don't talk about regret a lot, right? With the exception of talking to a good friend or a spouse or a partner where you talk about the things you regret, but only in this framework, at least in my experience, in this framework where regret is a bad thing, where it's almost unusual or abnormal, but it is a very normal thing. And thinking about all of the things that we have endured, in this midlife community, all of the things that we have endured, that we have learned, that we have tried, where we have failed, where we have learned, where we have succeeded, that there are going to be some regret, some sense of like, oh, I could have done something differently. I could have said something differently. And I think one thing we want to do here is we want to normalize the fact that regret is normal. It is normal, and it's our brain's way of telling us to take another look at the choices. So whether they're the recent choices or choices that we've made, back in the day that are still following us, that we want to take a look at them and see, what can we learn, what can we how can we grow from those regrets? So I like to have this conversation in a way where regrets are not solely a bad thing, and where they are really an opportunity for us to look at our life's experience in ways that are healthy and empower us to move forward.
Yeah, I promise our audience that before the show is done, I'm going to share with folks some coaching tips in terms of how to let go of regrets, whatever it is, and to move forward. I'm going to share with you how you do that. But there's an old Arabian proverb, Stacy, that says
Mm.
four things that cannot come back. Four things that cannot come back. One, the spoken word, right? Once
Mm,
you say it, it's gone. Spoken word. So be mindful of your tongue. Watch what you speak and what you say, right?
mm-hmm,
And the sped arrow. Now, the sped arrow of those days is literally about an arrow, but in terms of the metaphor, what it means
mm-hmm,
is a released action, right?
mm,
And then there is the past life, the past life, right? What is gone is
mm.
gone. The past life. We can't get in a time machine and do anything about the past life except inform ourselves in the present to move forward differently. And
Yes.
then number four is the neglected opportunity, right?
Ooh.
No more if I woulda, coulda, should. The neglected opportunity, the door for then and that is closed. Doesn't mean there won't be another opening, another aperture to enter. The
Mm-hmm.
opportunity may come back, but the Arabian proverb speaks to those four things. And we have to be mindful when we are operating in our daily lives to be intentional so that we don't wind up looking back regretting.
I- That, that was so good.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yes, no, it really was, and I love clearly, Isaac agrees that reality of neglected or missed opportunity, um, yet it is gone, it is done, and how we how we use those four prongs, we'll say, as fuel, how we use and how we consider them um, as fuel to move forward, I think is part of the challenge. And one of the things that you and I talked about is these competing, we'll say, or these two different camps around regret, two different theories or philosophy around regret. And one is to actually dwell on those regrets, but to dwell in a healthy way, to think about them like, what did you learn from that inaction or those words that you spoke or that missed opportunity? What did you learn? And how can you use that
Yes.
to really propel you forward? And then the other camp resonates with what you said as well, that don't dwell, don't kind of sit there ruminating on the regrets in ways that are not productive. And how often do we find our thought life, right? You and I as coaches are often
Yes.
talking about the narrative in the head. How often do we find ourselves in our thought life really dwelling on our regrets in ways that are just not productive? So I would say, whether you choose to dwell in a way that is productive and healthy, or whether you choose to don't dwell in unhealthy, unproductive ways, right? You want to really utilize your regrets as fuel, as information. You and I often talk about, how your experience as a midlife person, you have so much information, you have so much opportunity to make informed decisions and choices. And um, this is the time you want to do that. So whether you choose to dwell or don't dwell, you need to move forward.
You're right. The beauty of midlife is it's a gift because it's a blessing that we've gotten that far.
Hallelujah.
And with it comes additional lived experiences relative to where we were prior to getting there.
Right.
So it's like walking along a path and picking flowers along the way. And now at the end, we have enough to create a bouquet. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what we have to offer. And therefore, even if we pick weeds among the flowers, the fact of the matter is we can't go back and unpick those weeds. We simply have to sort it. And we're in a better position now because we know better. You know, Stacy, I said I'm going to share with folks as a coach
Mhm.
how to deal with regrets, because what happens oftentimes in terms of the emotional and psychological damage of regret is that people worry and often become depressed. They they stew on the past,
Mhm.
and depression is about stewing on the past in a way that lowers you, your sensibilities and your energy and feelings. Regret is a feeling. Regret is a sensation about a thing. So it's
Mhm.
based on a belief about an incident, an occurrence in the past that you attribute a certain feeling to. But here's the thing, Stacy.
Mhm.
When you look at that incident or happening in the past, one of the decisions you have to make is, did was it within your locus of control? Did
Mm.
you have control of
Mhm.
whatever it is that you're regretting?
It's
If you
great.
had no control, if
Mhm.
it was based on somebody else's behavior or results, then the truth of the matter is you have to let it go totally, not even stew on it, because you can't control somebody else's behavior.
Right. Right.
If it was based on a decision you took or didn't take, right? Well, it's always a decision whether you took
Mhm.
action or not.
Mhm.
You had control. And what you have to do, if it's within your control, is, and here is where the coaching and teaching, as it were, comes in.
Mhm.
The first thing to do, Stacy, is to accept the reality of whatever it is that brought about whatever you're regretting. Accept.
Mhm. Mhm. Critical. Because, with time being our most precious resource, right? Because even these minutes that we're spending, we can never get back. And so our ability to accept what has happened in the past, whether it be 10 years ago or yesterday, our ability to accept is critical to our ability to move forward. I feel like they're inextricably linked. If you cannot accept the words that you said, acknowledging that they may not have been the right words, and you have opportunity to make that right. If you cannot accept the action that you took, and you have the opportunity to adjust now, if you cannot accept, those past mistakes, like you said, those missed opportunities, those neglected opportunities, you will be stuck there. And the whole goal behind coaching is to ensure that folks get unstuck. And so accepting
Yeah.
whatever it is, I agree with you, is the first critical step.
Yeah. The second step, Stacy, and it's a fork. I'm going to give three prongs. The second one is to forgive, to give
Mm.
grace to yourself or to forgive. And those who follow the Christian faith will know that you firstly seek resolution by declaring that
Mhm.
you have wronged, so to speak, and then you ask for forgiveness. So here is an opportunity, we're saying, when it comes to looking at what we consider regretful behavior,
Mhm.
to firstly accept and then to forgive. Now, what does that mean? I know when I work with men of color, a lot of times we see and hear about the missing father, right? That's a
Mm.
narrative that we're
Mhm.
changing, though, of course, because, put it this way, if there are 50 broken homes, that means there are 50 families intact, right? 50%.
Yeah.
So let's talk about forgiveness.
Mhm.
If you hold on to the fact that my daddy wasn't there, for example, and you don't let it go. Maybe he's gone on with a life, remarried or had more kids or whatever it is, but it was what it was for when it was. And you can't live in that and allow yourself to be free. You are imprisoned. So, what you have to do, it doesn't mean you condone the behavior,
Right.
but you forgive so you can move forward.
Yeah, I think it is critical to forgive. You reference being followers of Christ, and forgiveness is to be really a practice and a principle that we are living out daily, and forgiving someone for the things that they have done, the wrongs that they have caused, regardless of what it takes. And just as it takes time to focus on the regret, the issue, the unforgiveness, do the work to move through into forgiveness, because it is life changing.
Yeah. Thank you. And Stacy, the third one, which is
Mm-hmm.
so important, we talk about moving from regret to renewal. The
Mm-hmm.
third piece of that prong is permission. What do I mean by permission? Giving ourselves permission to move forward. Giving
Mm-hmm.
our so first we accept that this is what it is,
Yeah.
and we forgive or ask for forgiveness, you know, and then we give permission. Stacy, I remember really having gone through a incident where I felt that I had wronged someone, and this was time had elapsed years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But not only did I call up to just say, "Hey, this is what's happening," and I ask for you to just forgive me. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so long the person hadn't really remembered, and they had laughed it off. But then I also gave myself permission to move
Mm-hmm.
forward in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
And we have
Mm-hmm.
to give ourselves grace and permission to move forward after we have declared that that thing in the back there is
Mm-hmm.
what it is.
Yeah, that's so we're going to sit there for just a second, because I think one aspect of forgiveness that we did not really clearly articulate is the need to forgive yourself. So if your regret is really about an action that you took, or a missed opportunity, or words that you spoke, what are the actions that you can take to forgive yourself? I feel like we, don't think about that enough. It's very easy to identify what and how others have wronged us. But what are we doing to ourselves? What are we saying to ourselves? How are we taking care of or not taking care of? But we have to forgive ourselves for those inactions, those decisions, those missed opportunities. And to Delaine's point, we have to forgive ourselves so we can really practice actively forgiving others. And so moving from that area of forgiveness into the permission, I think it's critical that we also include forgiving ourselves. So just didn't want to leave that. And welcome, Raleigh. Pray
Yes,
I'm pronouncing your name
Brother
correctly.
Raleigh. Yeah, Stacy, it's so important. We oftentimes become prisoners to our
Mm,
own thinking, to our own fears, and we create these boxes, these paradigms in which we live. When we want to renew and free ourselves, we have to recognize that we have to live in the now, in the here. Many of us, all of us, have dealt with some sort of trauma, some sort of missed opportunities, some sort of misbehavior or
Mhm.
misappropriation. And so if we spend, listen, you try it for yourself. Get in your car. Well, don't do it literally, but if you're in your car and you start up and you turn around this way, it's very difficult for you to move forward in a progressive manner. You're likely to hit something. You're likely to bump into something. And that is just a vehicle in terms of a car. Imagine this vehicle, the human being, the body that you occupy, the vessel, and you are looking back as you're trying to move forward. It's not possible, not without stubbing. So,
I agree. I agree. It is that, and nowadays, right? The gift of the way the car is designed is that you don't even have to turn your body. You can spend the entire time looking in the rearview mirror.
yeah,
But if you do that, you will not go forward well, right? You're gonna run into something,
yes,
turn into something. It is critical that we're looking forward. And we're not saying these, Wayne and I are coaches, and we realize that, sometimes we have to dig a little deep to figure out the root, the base, the foundation of the regret. And these actions of acceptance and forgiveness, and then giving yourself permission, take time. So please don't walk away from this episode feeling like, okay, I'm going to accept, I'm going to forgive, and I'm going to give myself permission and shimmy my way through. It takes time, but when you sense that regret, whatever it is, action, word, missed opportunity, spent arrow, as Wayne shared, when you experience that moment, like, just give that a moment of airtime and think about, what does it need? Does it need acceptance
yes,
to move into forgiveness, to move into permission? I think, we're all a work in progress. But in this midlife season, we really have so much of life's experience. And that just means that we're likely to have maybe one or two more regrets than our 20 and 30-year-old counterparts, right? Because we get to look back at 20 and 30-year-olds and think about the things that we've done, that are now catching up to us. There's just such great opportunity ahead. And Wayne and I want you to experience your best life.
we're about optimism, so we're saying there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a head-on freight train, right? It's a way out. So, Stacy, how do people get in touch with you to sample some of your transformational coaching?
Absolutely, Wayne. Well, certainly I am available. I know that we are streaming both on LinkedIn and Facebook. And you may see a little snippet on some other platforms, but certainly I can be reached through my website at the Stacy M. Lewis, no E in the Stacy.com. But I'm on all the platforms, usually at Stacy M. Lewis 7. So feel free to hit a sister up. Happy to offer a coaching call to anyone.
Yeah. And Stacy, I am going to allow folks to uh, DM me or reach out by email, which is Wayne Dawson. That's WayneDawson at VIP transformative and just say discovery call. We will get together with you for 30 minutes and figure out the problem area that you're trying to resolve and decide if we're a good fit. Now, if we're a good fit, there's no obligation to do the work, but if we're a good fit, what is it worth not to invest in yourself to make a change so that your next half can be your best half, as we like to say? And Stacy,
Yes,
that
sir.
means that we got to say bye to our friends. Curtis, my brother, love you much, always supporting us. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you,
And
Curtis. Thank you
everybody
so much.
else.
Appreciate the hair shout out. Thank you, Curtis. It's always good to have your support.
Yeah, yeah. Stacy, We're gonna have folks get back to us next week, same time, same place, and we'll do it again. Midlife Revolution. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Stacy, have a safe flight home
Thank
on
you,
that
sir.
unknown airline that we won't mention it.
Oh, we got jokes. We got jokes today. I see. I
So,
see. Thank you all so much for joining us in this episode of the Midlife
bye,
Revolution.
everyone. Like us, share, and catch the replay. We see you next week, same time. And there you have it, folks. This week's episode of the Midlife Revolution. Hey, we truly appreciate you spending this time in this space with us. Join us next week at the same time as we dive into relevant topics and present solutions to spark new thinking and empower your midlife journey.
Don't forget, if today's episode resonated with you, share your thoughts and suggest topics in the comments. And of course, remember to subscribe, share, like, and hit that notification bell. You are the Midlife Revolution. I'm Coach Stacy, and I'm cheering you on.
And I'm Coach Wayne, and I'll see you at the top.